JB here. Hope everyone's doing outstanding. Tuesday, March 18th, 8:59. Talk really quick about the market, some names I'm looking at, and go from there. S&P futures giving back some of the gains from yesterday and Friday. I mean, just kind of put in context of where we've been. The SPY was under 550 for a flash on Thursday, and we were almost at 570 in the late afternoon yesterday. So have to think there'll be a little consolidation. We'll see how today plays out. That 563 handle, that's like a big spot. I'm hoping we don't break under that. We can hold there, and then obviously we have the Fed meeting tomorrow, so that'll be a big event. And today, pretty similar to yesterday. So yesterday we had the retail sales data came out weaker than expected. Didn't do nothing for the markets. Today, I think we have housing starts, or we already had housing starts. Uh, that hasn't done too much. Import export prices, and then at 1 o'clock we have Jensen NVIDIA is having their GTC conference. He has the keynote speech at 1 o'clock. It's like I don't know a sis Pumbaa kind of situation, right? He's gonna get the crowd going. I'm sure a lot of what he's gonna say is gonna be very optimistic. A lot of excitement around it. So is it gonna be enough excitement? I guess would be the question. So hopefully it's not a sell the news event. If it isn't, which it might bode well for some of these other semi names, but again, for me, would love to see a move over that 200-day moving average of 570.50. I think it's 570.59 on the SPY. That would be great, but probably not going to happen here today, pending a um, crazy reversal. I mean, we were setting up similarly yesterday before the open. The market was kind of flat. A little bit red at the open, chopped around in the morning, and then it found an afternoon bid. We broke higher. I know it just doesn't have that feel here today, but maybe I'm wrong. The good thing overnight, you saw Asia markets rallying. Europe markets are soaring this morning. They have all historic spending plans in Germany, and some of these countries that have been very fiscally conservative are now opening their piggy banks, right? So you have to think that bodes well for those markets. All right, so that's overall. Just watching 563 because underneath that 563, I mean, it's like a quick drop back to 552, and I'm hoping that doesn't happen. And then I always again try to look at silver linings. The VIX just continues to be one of those indicators that kind of helps you not get too much fear, right? Not start hitting the crash button, the worry button. So hopefully that either holds up. And right now the VIX, I didn't even pull it up with the futures lower. Uh, it's up 4%, 2144, which still compared to where it was earlier last week is not anywhere near that. So that's kind of rolling market. And today we also get another update on the GDPNow. It's not something I've really looked at as much as I had over the last couple of weeks since it dropped negative. So the last read yesterday was down revised from negative 2.4 to negative 2.1. So we'll get another revision. I don't know. It should be out after 10 o'clock somewhere. So once I get that, I'll update that. Hopefully it keeps trending back closer to positive. And anyway, all right. So that's that. So individual names. I mean, I was on Rant here yesterday morning. BIDU was gapping just a little bit. And I'm like, wow, I'd be happy if it broke over 100 this week. I might look for some more strikes. And then in the morning, it was at 95 and change. It gapped higher. And I was looking at the 105s. They were like 45, 50 cents, but I still had the 110s. So I kind of passed. And then sure enough, by the noon hour, it's over $100. Rallies all the way up to 10. I think it hit 103 for a flash, 103.11, and then pulled back into the close. Still closed up 9%. They had updates on their Ernie bot, so I guess that's some of it. Also, I think it's just a function of what's going on with the Asian markets in general. And you can see, I mean, what Baba's up 40 something percent and some of these other names. You start looking at the chart, I'm like, wow, I think this might head back to 115, but I'm not overly confident. I don't have 100% conviction. So I'll continue to kind of keep things small. But I was able to lock some of my 110s in for 60% and a little over nearly 200%. And I was going to close some more in, but they were. I was waiting to get them out at $1 yesterday. I couldn't. I think there'll be $1 here at the open. 107. It hit in the pre-market. I'm not sure if it's going to head there today. But the thing is, with Baidu and Baba, they've had these rallies, and we had a rally back in February over 100, and then it gave it all back and then some. One of these times it doesn't do that, and when that happens, it's going to be a major rally, especially for Baidu. But in the back of my head, I think that there's a possibility it might pull back. So Gonna lock some more in at the open. I'll wait. If it finds footing, then I might look to get some later strikes to play for a move into the 110 plus area. If not, I'll just hold on to the rest and wait, but I'll be very patient. But you take a look at the long-term chart here on BIDU. I'm not saying it's going to go back to its October levels when it hit 115 plus in October, but certainly, I mean, if it holds this level, churns, I think it sets up for higher. So that's that. I already talked about XYZ yesterday. It opened in a red yesterday, found some footing, went all the way up to 58, but then the call premiums weren't coming in as much as I thought they should have. So and then once it dropped, the premiums dipped. I didn't want to be in a spot where I lost. I started losing, having a losing position on a trade that was solidly green Friday and some of the morning yesterday. So I closed the calls out. I was actually looking at 63s when it found some footing. They were like 17 cents, and sure enough, this morning it got upgraded to outperform from perform with an $80 price target at Keefe and Woods. Who knows if that's going to put some more wind in the sails. But if it does start to look like it's going to break over 60, I might look to get those 63 spec calls because at some point this is going to squeeze. Intel squeezed out of the gate, rallied out of the gate yesterday. I thought it's 26 by the hopefully, but later in the week, and it hit it yesterday. So use that move to close some of the calls out for 80%, 100%. I held the rest. I actually might look to close the rest of my 26 strikes here at the open, and then possibly roll it into April, maybe April 30s. Just because I said it yesterday on the rent yesterday afternoon. I'm like 27 is probably a short-term target. I think it might struggle if it gets there. So I don't. And not only that, my calls expire on Friday. So using those factors together, I think I'll probably look to close the April's, the Marches today, and then just possibly look to visit April's. VKTX, nothing to add here. Just disappointing. Premiums were getting crushed at the open yesterday anyway, closed down 3%. There was a lot of call volume. The April 35s and 40s had some huge strikes. They were actually added to the open interest. So the open interest was only 2,000 contracts on both the 35 and 40. Now those are 7,000. So I don't know which one was sold to open, which one was bought to open. So I don't know what that spread looked like, but short-term bullish at least. And then just quick, some other names. TripAdvisor, maybe as a bottom here. I still think this heading over 20 at some point this year. If there's some follow through, especially if it gets back over 15, I might look to finally, well, not finally, but look for some strikes, which have come down substantially in premiums. Back maybe some June 18s. Those look interesting on risk reward basis. Other names, I mean, Lemonade, I'm not really, I still have some 45s, but once this breaks and you see the consolidation, some of the insurance names are rallying yesterday. And EverQuote, which is one of my top 5 stocks, 2025, that hit 52-week highs yesterday. But one of these days, maybe it's going to start to squeeze again. So that one's definitely on watch. Arista Networks, if Jensen's able to put have so much excitement that it pushes all these semi names today, I'll be looking at some sympathy names to trade. Arista, maybe even Lam Research, names like that. So that's that. And then I said on the flip side to watch this 563. If we break 563 in a SPY, I might nibble some put hedges just because I keep saying I'm not putting my bull horns on. I'm not putting my bear horns on. I'm open to both scenarios here. But if we start reversing, then you have to think that 540 handle is probably the next target on the SPY. That's it, folks. Let's have a great day. I'll be back on audio later. Rock and roll.